Hello.
Hi, Mr. Gautham. Welcome to the space.
Hi, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. How are you doing today?
Good, good. I'm really excited about this AMA, and I'm happy to be here. It's pretty late in India, but it's like 7:30 here. But yeah, it's cool.
Oh,
Always
yeah, yeah,
ready to talk about Polkadot and Polkadex.
yeah. I'm really excited right now as well. Okay, so we kind of have a audience here, the speaker, you right here. So I think that we are good to go. Yeah. So, hello, Polkadot community, and welcome back to our AMA. And I'm Anna, your host. And today we are so honored to have on its space a very cool project, which is Polkadex. And Polkadex is the cutting-edge non-custodial order book DEX for Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems. And Polkadex has the goal to bring the centralized exchange trading experience to DeFi to make trading DeFi better and smoother. Yeah, and a lot about this one going to be shared in this AMA. So if you want to know more, stay to the end, everyone. Yeah, and in case you have even know about us, Polkadot Insider. So we are the channel of daily news, data analytics, real-time data, and research about projects to support retail investors' fields when they invest in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. Yeah, and going through the AMA with me today, I'm just so honored and excited to have a chance to talk to Mr. Gautham, the CEO and co-founder of Polkadex. Who's going to share with us what is so amazing about Polkadex, and also what are some upcoming interesting things that we need to follow up, yeah, with Polkadex. So, yeah, I think we gotta start right now. Yeah. So to kick off the atmosphere, sir, can you tell me something about yourself, your journey with Polkadex, and also Polkadot ecosystem, how you became involved in that, and also Polkadex in general?
Absolutely. Thanks for the introduction, Anna. So I think for people who don't know me, I'm Gautam, CEO and co-founder of Polkadex, and we started Polkadex, back in like 2020. It was like late 2020 before the start of the bull market. And see, the idea behind or the thought process for us was like we wanted to build an order book based exchange, but it should provide all sorts of features that we get in a centralized exchange. Because if you remember, like either Delta or Oasis Desk or IDEX or all those, the OGs in the Ethereum who tried to create an order book based DEX, they were there, but most of them died because of lack of experience, lack of liquidity, and sorts of issues. And it was just practically impossible back then. And that's when in one of the Ethereum hackathons, like somebody proposes this idea. I mean, I think Vitalik proposed this idea of automated market making, and it was taken up by the Uniswap team. And then, history happened. We have the Uniswap. So it was a compromise that was made because of the constraint in the execution or the computation capacity of a blockchain to create AMMs. But in a way, it served its purpose, and it is possible to trade using AMMs. But if you track, or if you are following what's happening in the AMM space, you can see that especially with Uniswap version 3, like they are building concentrated liquidity models, or basically like asking the LP or liquidity provider to provide in a particular price range, and if the price moves out of that particular range, you don't get any fees for it. And basically it's capital efficiency reasons. But what you can see here, the pattern is it's converging towards the same properties of a limit order book, right? Because a limit order book or a limit order, you as a trader defines the price at which you want to sell or buy. And that's exactly what all these AMMs are trying to converge towards, especially with different kinds of models like I mentioned, the concentrated liquidity model, or the price ranges and everything of that sort. So that's the reason why we thought like we have to build an order book based DEX where it is non-custodial. At the same time, we don't want to make the same mistakes as all the dead players in this space, especially the non-custodial order book. And how can we do that? That was the next question that we had in mind, because We can do it as a smart contract, easy. But again, we are again limited to that, computational space. That's when I stumbled upon this Substrate blockchain framework and learned more about Polkadot and the parachains and the whole ecosystem. And it just, struck me. Even though, in Substrate, there is a concept of runtime and a constrained block space and everything. What Substrate provides compared to the extra thing that Substrate provides is it allows us to create consensus level changes, or clients or all those the low level changes can be made, and that can be made application specific to the project that you're building. So that was a big thing for us, because we can build order book just the way we like, but we are not constrained anymore. So imagination is the limit, and obviously all the other the theoretical limits of what we can do in a distributed system. But with the power that Substrate gave us, that it just unlocked the next level of experience or the flexibility for us, and that allowed us to build order book. At least we started with the first prototype in last year, and now we are releasing the version 2 of that, which is like a fully decentralized model without even an enclave. So that's what we were trying to do with Polkadex. So basically, we came to Polkadot ecosystem because of Substrate, and then we got, Substrate is from the Polkadot ecosystem, and we just got sucked into it. The ecosystem is super, collaborative and helpful and flexible in so many ways. Because of that reason, we are able to realize the vision that we had 2 years ago to create that, decentralized order book. So that's the reason why we are in Polkadot and what we are trying to deliver with it.
Wow, this was really great. Yeah, that's what we see is happening. And it's very interesting to get to know more about what is the concept, what is Polkadex trying to do to solve and to build about the order book concept, and those are very great. Yeah, and that's very great, but it's not enough, sir. We here to hear more about Polkadex. So yeah, we are down to hear more about your project. So when experiencing Polkadex, I was really impressed with the interface because it brings a similar feeling like when trading on Binance or any other centralized exchange platform. It is really bringing CeFi to DeFi. So in your opinion, besides UI UX, what are some more difficulties will a user from CeFi platform to experience DEX, and how will Polkadex have the solution for them?
Oh yeah, that's a really interesting question, because see, as I mentioned earlier, like Ether Delta and all the other teams previous to us tried to build order book, and just simply building an order book on chain is not enough. Obviously, it is non-custodial, it is decentralized, XYZ, all the properties are there. But at the end of the day, the majority of the users are still using centralized exchanges, and that just boils down to the user experience. Because if you think about it, people pay for 3 different things. I'm talking in a philosophical level here, because people are ready to pay for a product if it provides convenience, or it provides, it saves times for them, or it, allows them to generate more money. So these are the 3 pillars of economy that I have realized, I have observed, where, people pay money for. So it's the same thing here. Centralized exchanges are providing a certain level of convenience and an experience to the user, and most of them are flocking towards it just because of that. And that can be factored down even into low-level bits like liquidity, the access to tokens, access to different trading pairs, access to trading bots, a community around it. All these things matter, because there are even numerous centralized exchanges that are very small, but still they're not in the bigger picture. We only have like top 10 centralized exchanges which are actually relevant in the space. So this, when we think about it, when we are building a decentralized non-custodial order book, we also have to factor in, like, okay, we have built the product, now what do we do to attract users? So that's when, to answer your question, that's when, we try to think in terms of Web 2.0. So what does the Web 2.0 companies or the centralized exchanges are doing right now to attract users and keeping them there without having, big churn rates? So that's something we have to replicate in the decentralized space also, because at the end of the day, I was actually tweeting about this like a few weeks back about Like when you tweet about something, you as a user don't care about what is the encryption behind it, or how secure it is, how the technology works. Because at the end of the day, you just want to connect with your followers and to send them, share the content that you want to share. That's all you care. So it's the same case for the traders also. They want to trade and they need to access the best liquidity possible for doing that trade. And they want to do it in a secure manner. And it can be achieved through decentralization. It can be achieved through trust. It can be achieved to any other manner. So if you think in the first principles, it's all about security, or how secure their transaction or the trade will be if they use that particular product. And that's something these centralized exchanges are providing right now, and that's something that we as Polkadex is trying to bring to the tech space. Because Polkadex is not just about building a trustless decentralized order book, but also we think about how can we package it so that it will be attractable to the attractive to the mainstream users and also to the wider crypto native market. So that's what we are trying to do. Like we give the power to choose to the end user whether you prioritize convenience or whether you prioritize proper decentralization. And by default, we provide security to everyone by design. So that's what we are trying to bring to the table by comparing ourselves with the centralized exchanges and trying to bring as many features as possible from that space, so that the traders feel at home when using our products. At the same time, we provide security and decentralization.
Yeah, I do understand your point. Yeah, we kind of see that there are a lot of good reasons for users to start trading experiencing in DEX. And yeah, as you say about the security issue and other aspects, and that's the good news that Polkadex have a lot of solutions in terms of security and many more aspects to really support them in this journey, and that's very great. Yeah. So as we know that liquidity is one of the most important elements of decentralized exchange or centralized exchange. So how does Polkadex solve the liquidity problem?
Yes. So liquidity is a biggest fact for, especially for an order book based exchange, because for AMMs, it's like, you can even start with the bare minimum liquidity. For order book, it's simply not possible. So we are developing certain programs with the help of the treasury and our community members who obviously support us to create those programs where we attract liquidity and we incentivize to bootstrap that initial liquidity in our exchange, and with the help of other ecosystem teams. We are in talks with others also on when we create a trading pair with them. We take the help of their treasury, their council to provide us a certain level of bootstrapping liquidity that will be used to market make in the Polkadex. And we are already partnered with Hummingbot, one of the open source trading bot companies. They are already integrated to Polkadex. So the community members, the users of the platform can market make themselves and make use of these programs to incentivize them for providing liquidity. So these are the two publicly known strategies, but we have more in the pipeline, which we'll be announcing down the lane.
Yeah, and that's very great, and I think that's one of the things that the users want to hear the most, and yeah, in this AMA, and that's very great. Thank you, sir. So as you mentioned, community is always known as a very crucial piece in any project, and I know that it means a lot to Polkadex. So could you share more about the way the Polkadex uses to grow and to attract the community members and users specifically?
For a decentralized project, it's all about the community, right? Because they are funding you, you are creating the product for them, and it's that group of togetherness that makes it the project a success. So we can see that with the same behavior can be seen in Polkadot, in Ethereum, and all the other blockchains. So what we do is we always try to engage with the council and also get feedback from the community regarding all the features and all the things. Especially like when we introduced the feature for email, logins using email, there are a lot of community members who had a strong, where they're not agreeing to that, at the same time, when we proposed the Hummingbot proposal, where funding the Hummingbot integration, the community was happy about it. So we go in lockstep with the community, and even in the, I mean, we were in the development phase for till now, and the products are going to get released this month. So even after the the product gets released, there will be a lot of involvement between the community and the team, so that we can expand. And because what I think is, we as a team of like 20-25 people can do so much, but if we leverage the community, they can do wonders, because they might be knowing someone who knows someone who can get the the feature or whatever we need, get it done. So it's always best to take the help of community to do this, because especially like one of the events, I think one of the community members, his name was Stefan, was helping my co-founder Vivek, and he was stranded in Germany for one of the events. So it's the power of community that you can see there. He just went to the Twitter and tweeted about it, and the community was there to support him. And that's really important, because when you build together with the community, it's not just like, it's like having like 1,000 or 2,000 people behind you, working for you, and helping you achieve the shared goal. So that's what I'm saying about community. Like it's all about the community for a decentralized project, but that's the good part of it. The other side will be, sometimes there will be like disagreements, especially in terms of the short-term distance. They may not look good, but for the long term, it will be good. So what I think is, there's an evolutionary arc. So the project starts as a centralized, the team-focused mode, and once it gets to deployment, and also it reaches a point where it has stable users, a lot of adoption in the market, and it captures a lot of market share, then it can be slowly run by the community itself. The team involvement is not required. So the success of a project, what I feel is, should be based on that arc. So depending on where you are as a project on that arc, defines how much community involvement you should be doing. Also, how much you should not be doing at the same time. Because especially in the early stages, there are a lot of decisions that you need to make so quickly to make it working. And that should be done as much as possible inside the team. And once you have a stable product, once you have users, you need to start involving community, because that will just propel the whole project forward. And I think we can see the same thing in Polkadex, and because in the following months, you'll see like a lot of community involvement regarding a lot of trading bots, the market makers, liquidity proposals, and as I mentioned earlier, the incentivizing liquidity for the market making. A lot of things will be involving community, and we'll be taking the community helps to make it happen.
Oh, as a part of community, I really love what you just shared, and I think that's very exciting for us to wait for more from Polkadex, what Polkadex bringing to the community, and all of that are very exciting already. Yeah, thank you so a lot. So we're gonna talk about the feature. Yeah, so as I see on the website, a new feature coming soon of Polkadex, which is the THEA Bridge. So it's already attract a lot of attention for a community. So can you reveal just a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So THEA is a concept that we were starting to work on the early 2021, because as I mentioned earlier, building a DEX is not enough, because we have to build a DEX that has all the properties or the experience of a centralized exchange. So to bring that level of convenience and experience, we wanted to build a bridge that allows users to make a single, one step or one click transaction or transfer from any other ecosystem, and it can come to the Polkadex order book for trading. So that's not possible with what we have right now. So that's why we started building THEA. So and the first version of THEA is going live right now this month, where the XEM transfers from other chains will go directly, because we have a solo chain, we have a parachain, then we have other parachains where the other liquidity and other kind of tokens are. So let's say someone in Akala or Moonbeam or any other parachain, they want to transfer something for trading to Polkadex, they can in one click transfer the tokens from there, and it will go through the different blockchains automatically, and it will end up on the Polkadex order book in the user's account. So there are a lot of hopes in between, especially from the parachain to our parachain, from our parachain to our solo chain, and then finally to our order book. And there should be some mechanism so that user doesn't need to do like multiple transactions or even need to pay multiple times to make it happen, or wait for a transaction to complete and then do a second transaction. And we can say the same thing in Ethereum. Like a lot of bridging mechanisms use like you make a deposit on the Ethereum smart contract, then you have to claim it on the destination chain. So it's really complicated. But if you compare it with a centralized exchange, it's more like they show an address, you send a transfer to it, and it's done. You forget about it. You move on with your life, right? And it's as easy as that. So that's why we are building THEA, because with THEA, it's possible to have the similar experience that we have in centralized exchange in Polkadex, and even that all that is done without sacrificing the security, the underlying non-custodialness or any other security is not compromised. So that's what we are building with THEA, and that's why we are building THEA, and it will be going live just with the parachain bridging right now. This month. It's already running in our testnet for a few weeks now, and then in the later this year we'll be connecting to Ethereum and all the other non-substrate chains, so that as an exchange we have access to pretty much all the ecosystems and all the tokens.
Yeah, that's really cool to get to know more about the concept behind this THEA Bridge, and yeah, we definitely wait for more about it in the upcoming time. Yeah. So besides THEA Bridge, we also see the teaser of PolkaIDO and PolkaPool. So what are some interesting things about these features that we are supposed to know, sir?
So PolkaIDO and PolkaPool are like two sub products that we are working on, and which will be released. It's already deployed on the chain, but it will be released and make it made publicly available later this year. And the idea behind it is, as an exchange, we need to have a set of products which allow the user another token project or another team to successfully launch their token and also then finally complete the cycle. Because for a project, the life cycle starts like this. They start with an idea, they create a token for it with an utility, and they need to mint or create that token somewhere, and then finally do an IDO and then list it in exchanges. So if Polkadex as an ecosystem can provide support through that entire life cycle for that token project, it will bring a lot of value to them, because creating an ERC20 contract, figuring out, deploying, maintaining it, and then finally bridging to substrate or substrate-based mechanisms or other parachain, it's something that we had gone through, and it's painful and it takes time. It's time-consuming. So if we are able to create such an ecosystem where teams can mint the asset in statement and then do the IDO in Polkadex and finally do the listing in order book, and then use other AMM parachains for AMM listing, it can be a one end-to-end comprehensive suite of products that Polkadex can provide to those project teams. And that's the reason why we have PolkaIDO, because it provides a decentralized, trustless, on-chain way of doing IDO, and that doesn't involve the team or anyone else. It can be done completely on-chain. And PolkaPool, again, is another AMM, as I mentioned earlier, but it's more focused on the operational level system, because THEA, as I mentioned earlier, allows you to transfer, let's say, Moonbeam from Moonbeam parachain to Polkadex, and then deposit here. So you'll be paying the fees in Moonbeam, and when it comes to Polkadex ecosystem, PolkaPool is used to convert the fees paid in Moonbeam to Polkadex and paid to the validators and the block producers. So it's a system level palette that we have, and it will be treated like that for the time being. And later this year, we'll be making it public so that the community can also use it for their trades if they don't want to use the order book. So that's the idea behind PolkaPool, to create a operational level palette that can help THEA execute or exchange fees from other tokens to the native token. And when we actually make it public, the PolkaPool will become an AMM that completely avoids front running. Because front running is one of the biggest problems that Ethereum-based AMMs face, for hijacking a transaction and sandwich attacks and all those things. So what we do is we don't allow the sender, the person who is swapping, the swap transaction, the order in which it is swapped. It's not controlled by the block producer. and it's not controlled by anyone else, and it cannot be manipulated. It's completely random. So in PolkaPool, there is no way somebody can front run your transaction. So that's something and another property that we have added to PolkaPool. And when it becomes public, it will be a big value add for the Polkadot and Polkadex community.
Well, so that's the idea behind the PolkaIDO and PolkaPool, and which is very great. And we know that it brings a lot of values to the Polkadex and also to the community. Yeah, I kind of see that a lot of work has to be done, but we know that we're gonna have a lot of good news in the upcoming time, and gonna see how they work, how they really work in the future, and yeah, and that's exciting already. Yeah, so yeah, beside these features, we know that yeah, in the upcoming time there are a lot of huge things happening with Polkadex, but are there any developments? Are there any features that are in the pipeline that gonna surprise the community? So can you share more about it?
Absolutely. So this is the first time I'm talking in public about this, but since the product is getting launched, the version 2 of order book is getting launched this month, and there is a lot of new market makers and trading bots that we have in pipeline that is planned to get released this year. So eventually we'll be able to build a suite of trading bot support and also the market makers that we'll be onboarding to Polkadex, especially the tier 1 market makers currently market making in Binance and KuCoin and all the other exchanges. So they'll be onboarded to Polkadex, and especially with the release of mobile app, we'll be on board and we'll be able to tap into the mainstream users also. And we have one like a special on-ramp, off-ramp solution that we are talking to. So we are based off Estonia, and there is one really good company there. I don't want to name them right now, but we are working on something that will allow the mainstream users to on-ramp with fiat and an off-ramp to fiat from Polkadex directly with that partner. So a lot of things are in pipeline, especially related to liquidity, bootstrapping liquidity using different programs, the trading bot support, market making, mobile app integration, fiat partners. A lot of stuff. I mean, I'm super excited. I think I can keep on talking about a list of things that we are going to do this year. But all these things are going in parallel, and these are, I think, the major ones that I can think of right now.
Yeah, they're all very great in terms of order book, AMM, and about the mainstream users, and many more in the pipeline that are gonna surprise the community in the upcoming time. Yeah, we know that we still need to work a lot to make all of them come into play, to make all of them go as planned. But that's Polkadex, so we trust, and we're gonna have a lot of new things to experience in the upcoming time. Yes, near. Yeah. So for the last question, I think it's relaxing. So if you have to say 3 words or 3 sentences to express what you are proud of Polkadex, so what are those, sir?
I think I can do it in 3 words: innovative, scalable, and trustless. So that's basically what we are trying to do here, because we're trying to make an innovative order book that's based on what we have seen from the market, and we are trying to make it in a scalable manner so that it can scale to the level that the current world, because based on rough calculations and based on the interaction with the industry experts, we know that roughly around 200 to 300 trades per second is what all the exchanges in this planet is processing, crypto exchanges. So we are designing a system to sustain that. If all the exchanges is running on Polkadex, the Polkadex system should be able to support that. So that's where scalability come into picture, and also trustless. All our data, all the balance settlement, or everything happens peer-to-peer and in a trustless manner on the blockchain itself. So innovative, scalable, trustless.
Yeah, that's lovely, innovative, scalable, and trustless. That's really what we see in Polkadex so far. And yeah, we really appreciate what Polkadex is doing so far for all of these priorities and for all of the contributions to the community growing, and that we see so far, and that's very great. Yeah, thank you, Sarlat. So I think it's all about the questions today. We've been through a lot of great information about Polkadex, what is so great about Polkadex, and also what are some upcoming things that we have to follow up, not to regret. Yeah. So, sir, do you have any words left, or you have any like announcement left for our listeners today before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I think I miss one thing because we were talking about what's in the pipeline, and in fact, we are opening channels with pretty much all the parachain teams out there, so the community can expect to see a lot of XCM channel being opened between. I mean, we are trying for all the parachains and try to do it in a timely fashion so that we can talk to them and open the channel technical integrations finally with listing their trading pair in Polkadex. So it's gonna happen in a flurry because we have been working for 2 years, and that 2 years of effort is gonna be delivered in the next 2 months. And XCM channel is one of the biggest things that we have, and in terms of finalizing the liquidity and opening the trading pair, and getting the THEA up and running. I mean there are a lot of things that's gonna happen in the next 60 to 90 days, and I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, sir, a lot. Yeah, we also very excited about what's happening with Polkadex in the upcoming time. Yeah, so I think it's all about today. And thank you, Mr. Gautham, and also thank you, Polkadex, for giving us a chance to have you here on the space with a very great sharing. And also thank you, all the listeners have joined us today. We hope that you just had a very relaxing time and helpful time with us. Yeah, and I think if you have any questions for our speakers, just do not hesitate to DM Polkadot Insider, and we're gonna have it connected to the speaker and get back the answers to you as soon as possible. Yeah, and if you want to hear recording again, just go to our Twitter and play the recording again, not to miss any great information about today. Yeah, so it's all about today. I'm afraid that we have to say goodbye. So goodbye, everyone, and see you guys all again in our next AMA series. Goodbye, everyone, and have a nice day.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah,
Bye-bye,
thank
everyone.
you so a lot. Goodbye, everyone.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.